General Hospital spoilers tease that a shocking crime could soon be pinned on Christina Corinthos Davis, a revelation that sends shockwaves through Port Charles and fractures bonds of trust in unexpected ways. In the quiet aftermath of a community once bound by loyalty, Christina's name hovers in whispers and gossip, as her mother Alexis Davis races against time to avert a disaster that could tear their family apart. A tense hush has fallen over Alexis Davis as she navigates the gleaming corridors of her law office, her mind teeming with dread. Earlier that morning, word reached her that the police had uncovered evidence suggesting Christina was responsible for tampering with Rick Lansing's brakes, a crime that could land her behind bars. Alexis's heart pounded so fiercely it threatened to betray her composure. She had always known her daughter's fierce spirit could sometimes lead her into trouble, but this felt different. Determined to protect Christina at all costs, Alexis turns to the one man in Port Charles who might have the skill and street smarts to help her, Damian Spinelli. She finds him holed up in Kelly's, typing furiously on his laptop, headphones clamped over his ears. When his devices finally register Alexis's urgent messages, Spinelli removes his headphones, concern flickering across his face. "Alexis," he asks softly, immediately rising to her level. She can barely meet his eyes as she divulges the nightmare scenario. Police forensic teams have traced digital footprints back to Christina's phone and laptop, indicating she was at the scene when Rick's brakes were sabotaged. Spinelli leans back, swirling his coffee mug, mind already racing through hacks and networks. Alexis explains she needs all evidence wiped clean. No surveillance footage, no digital timestamps, nothing that can link Christina to that fateful night. If Spinelli can purge every bite, Alexis hopes the case will collapse. Inside, Christina is oblivious to her mother's frantic scramble. She sits in a bright classroom at General Hospital's training center, leading a discussion on teen mental health, her passion project. She's found solace in helping others, channeling guilt and pain into advocacy. Yet, frustration lingers. Christina jabs at a pen and tacks a cryptic note to her corkboard, a scribbled reminder of the horrid accusation. She still believes her mother contemplated committing her to a psychiatric ward. Their relationship has always been complex. Alexis's fierce protectiveness often teetered on overreach, and Christina's embittered spirit has clashed with her mother's best intentions time and again. Today, Christina's lingering resentment surfaces. She texts Alexis a scathing line, accusing her of plotting to have her institutionalized when trouble first emerged. Alexis, engulfed in her secret mission with Spinelli, hesitates to respond. She knows addressing that bitter claim could derail her plan entirely. Across town, Willow Corinthos has her own anxieties. She's grown suspicious of Sasha Corbin, the woman who arrived under tragic circumstances, claiming to carry the child of her late fiancé. Willow has made it her mission to protect Sasha, to welcome her into the Corinthos clan. But when she glimpses Sasha slipping a folder into her bag, medical reports detailing every heartbeat of her unborn baby, Willow's maternal instincts flare. Why is Sasha so secretive? That evening, Willow trails Sasha to an off-the-grid clinic near Mercy. She watches through a rain-speckled window as Sasha's trembling hand hovers over the results of her last ultrasound. Then, in a panicked flutter, Sasha zips the folder and stuffs it into her purse, her eyes darting around the empty waiting area. Unseen in the shadows stands Jason Morgan, torn. He's been posing as Sasha's protector, her faux husband, to shield her from tormentors. But now the truth threatens to emerge. Michael Corinthos, his adoptive son, is the baby's real father. Jason's commitment to protecting Sasha and her child has obligated him to lie to Carly Spencer and Willow. He fears that exposing the real paternity will shatter more than just trust. It could break the Corinthos family forever. Inside the Corinthos mansion, Jason debates how to handle this ticking time bomb. Should he confess to Carly in hopes of preserving their bond, or deflect by reminding her of Michael's supposed coldness during his recent stint in Germany. Sasha whispered that Michael refused to meet Willow abroad, that he'd chosen work over his wife and child. Carly, devoted wife and mother, would never believe Michael capable of such cruelty. If Jason plants that seed, perhaps he can stave off the truth long enough to find a more permanent solution. Meanwhile, Drew Kane nurses a different kind of fury. After surviving a near-fatal dose of ketamine administered by unknown assailants, he's steeled himself for revenge. He knows Portia is complicit, though not alone. He's relentless in uncovering the others who orchestrated his poisoning. Portia, at her wit's end, braces for a confrontation. Drew teases her with measured cruelty, insisting he won't have her imprisoned, yet. He needs layers of proof before dragging anyone to the police. His calm, chilling assurance only heightens Portia's dread. She can sense he is closing in. Late one night at Kelly's, Drew corners Portia. He leans across the counter, voice low. "Don't think I've forgotten, Portia. I have all the time in the world, and I intend to find out every name attached. But don't worry, I won't send you away, yet." His gaze sears before he walks away, leaving Portia trembling in guilt. In a luxurious suite at the Metro Court, Carly Spencer feels the pieces shifting around her. News of Drew's poisoning has come through, and she's discovered dark rumors, dirty secrets that unravel a tapestry of lies. Fearful for her children, Wiley and Amelia, Carly resolves to shield them from Drew's chaos. She storms into Willow's penthouse that night, determination in her stride, and offers to take the twins into her home, away from their father's shadow. Willow confronts Carly, voice quivering with hurt. She insists Drew loves his children, he would never harm them. But Carly, steeled by maternal instinct and armed with evidence of Drew's betrayal, stands firm. Their argument crescendos until Willow, choked by emotion, finds herself unable to dissuade Carly. In a moment of shimmering triumph, Carly gathers the twins and departs, Willow's tears lost in the night. At General Hospital, Elizabeth Baldwin senses something amiss. As a talented nurse educator, she's uneasy about Rick Lansing's recent accident and her own brushes with the crash site. A patient's broken skull had rattled her, but whispers of foul play made her determined to uncover the truth. When she learns Christina was under extreme stress that day, Elizabeth seizes her opportunity to piece together the puzzle. Late in the hospital's archives, Elizabeth pores over crash reports and maintenance logs. She cross-references timelines and notes of brake inspections. Then, a flurry of detail emerges. The logs were altered. Someone with access had tampered with entries, steering suspicion away from a hit-and-run and toward mechanical failure. Her pulse quickens as she realizes Alexis's frantic mission with Spinelli may have succeeded, only to erase clues pointing to the real saboteur, Christina. The afternoon sun casts long shadows over Port Charles as Dante Falconeri arrives at Crimson Magazine's headquarters. He's summoned unexpectedly by Lulu Spencer, whose eyes betray anxiety. Lulu ushers him into an empty conference room, the hum of overhead lights accentuating the gravity of her tone. "Dante," Lulu begins, her voice trembling, "there's something I have to tell you. It's about our son." Dante's chest tightens. For months, Lulu's pregnancy was a joyous secret, something they guarded fiercely after Spencer Medical's explosive boardroom showdown. But whispers floated of complications and of a father whose identity remained unspoken. Now, the secret unravels. Lulu's breath catches. She recounts how Elizabeth Baldwin discovered irregularities in the baby's genetic screening, a mismatch on one chromosome. At first, Lulu thought it a clerical error. But when she confronted the lab tech, she discovered paperwork indicating the sample had been switched. Dante's lineage, once assumed, now stands questioned. Tears well in Dante's eyes as he listens to Lulu's confession. They had always relied on love to bind their family, but this revelation feels like a fissure in their shared foundation. Lulu grips his hand. Voice soft. I'm so sorry I kept this from you, but I was scared of losing you. Across town, Alexis Davis paces her law office, the glow of her computer screen illuminating worry lines etched deep from sleepless nights. Spinelli's promise of a digital wipeout is in motion, but Alexis fears another threat: Rick Lansing's leverage. She's learned Rick has threatened to expose Alexis's role in the cover-up unless Alexis helps him with a high-profile client scandal. Now Alexis is trapped between protecting Christina and bowing to Rick's blackmail. Spinelli bursts through the door, breathless. It's done, he says, tossing a flash drive onto Alexis's desk. Alexis nods, relief and terror warring in her expression. They've scrubbed phone logs, deleted surveillance footage, and even rerouted digital breadcrumbs. But suddenly Alexis recoils. She realizes that by erasing every trace, she's erased the only way to prove Christina's innocence if a deeper investigation arises. Willow Corinthos storms into the Spinelli residence, determination blazing. She has news of her own. Sasha's ultrasound folder is gone. Sasha denies everything, insisting the tests were routine. But Willow knows better. She demands answers from Jason, who stands torn in the threshold of loyalty and conscience. Willow's fury can be tamed only by the promise of truth. Meanwhile, Drew Kane stands on the roof of the Metro Court, staring at the city lights. Portia approaches, her silhouette tentative against the neon glow. She confesses additional details. Someone higher up orchestrated the poisoning, and Portia suspects Nina Reeves. Drew's jaw tightens. The hunt has just widened. In the grips of unraveling crises, Carly Spencer orchestrates a play of her own. She arranges for legal guardianship papers for Wiley and Amelia, filing them under emergency custody. Texts from Willow grow desperate, but Carly remains resolute. She will not relinquish her nephews until she's guaranteed their safety. Back at the hospital, Elizabeth Baldwin confronts Alexis in the courtyard. The midday sun beats down as Elizabeth brandishes printed logs. You knew someone tampered with Rick's brakes, Elizabeth accuses. And you helped bury the evidence. Alexis's mask cracks. She admits to consulting with Spinelli, but she claims she never intended for Christina to face charges. In an avalanche of emotion, Alexis confesses the truth. Her daughter was too terrified and lashed out, but she did not intend to kill. Horror and compassion war in Elizabeth's heart. She realizes the law demands accountability, but her conscience urges mercy for a young woman cornered by fear and heartbreak. Elizabeth leaves Alexis trembling, the seeds of redemption sown but far from blossoming. At Kelly's, Dante and Lulu sit beneath dim lamplight, hands clasped. Dante's mind reels from Lulu's revelation about their child. Despite the jarring news, they find solace in each other. Dante whispers, "We'll face this together, no matter what." Lulu nods, tears of relief mingling with sorrow. Their bond, tested and tempered, emerges more resilient than ever. Later, Carly receives a phone call from Sasha. Her voice quakes. Sasha admits her counterfeit ultrasound came from a traveling clinic across state lines. Michael Corinthos was kept at arm's length because Sasha feared Willow's harsh judgment. Sasha begs for Carly's help, terrified she'll lose her baby's stability. Carly hesitates. Despite her own battles with Willow, something in Sasha's plea softens her resolve. Meanwhile, Jason stands outside the Corinthos mansion, phone pressed to his ear. He's tracked Michael's flight records. Michael never went to Germany. It was a ruse. Jason's mind races. If Michael didn't snub Willow abroad, then Sasha's story is unraveling. Jason closes his eyes, steeling himself for a confession that could fracture his marriage. But first, he must speak to Michael and warn him that danger lurks beyond personal secrets. Someone in Port Charles is desperate enough for blackmail to engineer tragedies. Back at Alexis's office, Rick Lansing arrives unannounced. His grin is smooth, predatory. He holds Alexis's erased files in printed form. He found a backup. Nice try, Rick purrs. He snaps the documents onto Alexis's desk. You help me with my client, and I shred these. Otherwise, I expose everything. Alexis, pale, realizes her bargaining chip has vanished. She's trapped more tightly than ever. As midnight approaches, Port Charles seems poised on the edge of chaos. Bonds of love are tested, secrets simmer beneath the surface, and every choice carries weighty consequences. Christina's fate hangs in the balance, Alexis's moral compass spins wildly, and hearts once bound by trust face fractures that echo through the city's shadows. In 2 days, the fallout will erupt in a courtroom, hospital room, and living rooms across Port Charles. But for now, the town holds its breath. Who will crack under pressure? Whose lies will be exposed? And can fragile threads of loyalty withstand the storm of betrayal? General Hospital spoilers promise that Port Charles will never be the same.